So, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are from. I don't want to create a room. Okay. Hi. I hope we are all well. Thank you for joining me this morning. I wanted to do a little interview with Emma, who won the Australasian Samba Queen competition, the semi-pro division just last weekend. I've had a lot of questions about Emma. Where did she come from? Why is she so good? How did she win? What's going on? How can I get there? So I thought I will just do it like this. We will have a nice little interview and you can hear it straight from her own mouth. So let's get her on board and we'll have a chat to her. And if you do have any questions for Em, chuck them in the comments section and hopefully we'll be able to
Hello.
Hopefully we'll be able to answer them as we go through. How are you? Good morning.
Good morning. I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we're good. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
There we go. Oh, hello. It's not ideal doing all this slap on a Sunday morning. But hey, we wanted to get it done so that
No,
it got
I was
done.
really responsible last night, Gabby. I had gone out for dinner and drinks and came home before midnight. So look at me go.
Look at you go. I love it. I love it. Well, how have you spent your last week after winning the semi-pro freestyle division?
I think just in a little bit of like just this state of like complete, oh my God, did that really happen? But yeah, look, the reality of it was I just had to go back to work and yeah.
Yeah, 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 totally. I'm with you. It's such a strange thing. We'll talk about that as we go through. But the calm down of a competition, it's just so odd. But let's get started with a couple of questions about your journey so far with samba itself. I want to know what everybody wants to know. When did you start samba and why did you start dancing samba?
Yeah, so it was back in 2018. One of my friends, Jana, she was traveling to Brazil and she wanted to learn some basics before she went. In high school, I like always loved dancing. I did a little bit of jazz, but nothing too serious. At a party, I'm always on the dance floor. So I've always kind of wanted to like get into dancing, but I think when I moved to Brisbane, and just like as an adult, I just was maybe just always a little bit too afraid to kind of jump into a class by myself. Yeah, so when she said that she was going to be trying these samba classes and she showed me, you know, some of the, you know, videos of samba and Rio Carnival and, you know, all of the opportunities that kind of came out of it, could come out of it, I just kind of tagged along with her and I never stopped going. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. I love it. I love it. You know what? One thing that sticks out in my head so much is that Jana was actually training with me, and it was your birthday was coming up, and she was like, "I want to get some private lessons for Emma for her birthday," and Jana had asked you, "What do you want for your birthday?" And you said, "Samba
Samba feet.
feet." Oh, and I was just like, "Oh my heart! Oh, I love her
I know.
already."
She's literally the best, yeah. So I have a
Yeah,
lot
and
to
I
thank.
always remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm very
yeah.
grateful for Dana.
Yes, this is a divine meeting, I think. Um, okay, and so when you started, so obviously you saw it and you thought, wow, this is awesome. And then you got started. You know, it's been 4 years now. Like, why did you decide to continue dancing samba?
Yeah, look, I think I've always found Samba like really challenging. I feel like every class that I go to, I learn something new, like whether it's, you know, a new combo or like refining my Samba basic step. It could be education into Brazilian dance and culture. There's just, you're always learning, you're continuously learning, and you're continuously challenging yourself. And I think that that sort of paired with, you know, the amazing Samba community that we have, like here in Brisbane and even across Australia after last weekend, like everyone is so supportive. It doesn't feel like a competition. It feels like everyone just wants to lift each other up and, you know, so I think that's kind of what keeps me coming back. Yeah.
Nice. I love that because samba is so, 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 so hard. It's definitely one of the hardest styles of dance I've ever learned. And it's kind of it's a tricky thing when people start because, you know, they love it. They love the music, they love the movement, all the history, all of everything. But to continue pushing when it is so hard and you can't see that kind of point, you know, that point you could get to even an intermediate level is just like, like why would I do this to myself?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. But it is worth it. It is worth it. And what's been your favorite aspect of your samba journey so far?
Yeah, look, I think just I just have to say, I think it's just, the community, the people that I've met along the way. I've made some really close friends. Shout out to my Samba sisters, people like Shania, Rhea, Jade, love you ladies. It's just, it's, the community is just amazing. I love it. So,
Yeah. Within, I mean, there's always drama. There's always drama. But I do feel like we've got a nice thing happening here, and I hope that happens in other places too. But you know, it feeds into that sort of mindset of let's lift each other up as women. You know, we've got so much bullshit that happens anyway in our lives, just generally as a woman. You know, like why would we want to drag others down? Like we should really be supporting each other and creating communities and just sharing the love of something that we all share. So why not come together with that?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
And this might be the same sort of question, but what has the journey from your start point to now been like over this last 4 years?
If I could take you back to my start point. So when I went to those classes with Jana, I would insist on hiding myself in the back of those classes. I struggled with like a basic, like this whole like double bounce concept. I couldn't get it. Like it was, like you said, it's like one of the hardest dance styles. And I think, you know, just my persistence and curiosity just kept me coming back. And I think it was when I started Samba Privates with you, Gabby, that my Samba basic actually started to come together and it started to click. And, you know, since then I've been attending, you know, classes, workshops, private sessions with you on the regular, events, that have, you know,
like
live
basically everything you can.
any opportunity that that came at me, even if I didn't feel good enough or, you know, if I didn't feel like I was ready, I said yes to it, because I just felt like if there was a chance that it might improve my samba, because I was just falling in love with it, then I just wanted to, give that a go. Like, just
absolutely. And it is one of those things where, like, I always encourage people to go to classes and workshops and go and learn with everybody, because someone will say something and you'll go, oh my God, like I've been doing this whole, and it could even be, sometimes it's even me, like I will say the same thing over and over and over again to one person, and it's not until the 5th time that I say it that it actually clicks. But in, you know, sometimes just being in a different environment helps that as well. So I would definitely encourage that. There's something in my eye. I also like, as much as I love group lessons, there's nothing like a private lesson that will just make your technique, you know, you get that specific one-on-one feedback, and
Yeah.
it, yeah, really, really helps.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's the moment that I sort of started to see. Oh, sorry about this. Sorry. Hey, mate.
I love
Sorry.
it. So cute.
Standard
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
working meetings. He always likes to pop in and say hi.
Of course. Of course. Be involved in everything. And so I think you probably already touched on this, but what's been the hardest part of the journey?
um, Actually, I don't know. Maybe I have touched on it a little, but I think um, for me, I get, and as you know so well, I get so stuck in my head. I am full of self doubt. Um, I'm sometimes not very kind to myself. I tell myself maybe I'm not good enough or fit enough or technical enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, so um, it's, yeah, that I think that's, I don't know if I've overcome it, but I think that's like, it's definitely happening. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So,
It is. And it's one of those things like I talk about this a lot because a lot of people feel like they're not allowed to be confident. They're not allowed to be secure in themselves when they're not at where they want to be, right? So on your journey, you've always got to stop at beginner, and then you've got to stop at like boost or pre-intermediate, and then you've got to stop at intermediate, and you've got all these steps along the way to kind of like checkpoints to make it to. And I think sometimes people believe that because they're not advanced or professional or whatever yet, that they're not allowed to have confidence or oops, or like be proud of what they've done or what they've already achieved. And I think that's sometimes why people do get in their heads, and they don't just allow themselves to be proud of what they've already got. And that's why we have semi-pro part of the competition. That's why some competitions provide us with an amateur section.
yeah,
Like there's a journey,
yeah,
and the checkpoints are just as important as the end result. And allowing yourself to sort of be proud of those moments is the first step, I think.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
To
just getting
pick
up
up my
there, you
book.
should be so proud. Like, yeah. Even going
Yeah.
to a class, like, it's an achievement in itself.
Exactly. Yeah, going to a class, standing in the front of the class, like,
Yeah.
it's all an achievement in its own. And I guess people look at, now that you've been dancing samba for 4 years and all of that, I have new students come in, they maybe have only been dancing a year or something, and they look at you like, oh my God, how did she get there? And it's like all soon they'll get to that point, and then the newbies will come in, and that will happen. And you just need to understand that everybody has their own journey, and
Everyone learns at their
yeah,
own pace. Like, yeah.
so much so. And I can't even tell you how or why, what the difference is between why she learns faster than her, or why she has a more like a smoother samba than her, whatever. Like it's just also personal, but you know, we get there in the end.
Yeah.
So last year was the first time that you went into a competition, and I want to know why you chose to compete.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel like it was part of the journey. I'll take you back again to 2018, the year that I started dancing samba. You'll probably recall you won the professional freestyle
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Australasian Samba Queen competition. I was sitting in the crowd as a spectator. I just started. I was struggling with that double bounce, and I was like, God, I would love to do that one day. Like, I would love to be able to just get up there and do that. So I feel like that was a point in time when I kind of set that goal. And I think, you know, everything that I spoke about earlier in terms of like the journey and all of the classes and privates and events and everything that I've kind of said yes to along the way, I feel like choosing to compete last year, it was a step in that journey. It was, you know, I wasn't feeling quite ready for a freestyle yet. I was feeling at that point in time more comfortable with the choreography. So I realized going into it that I'd never, or when I chose to, that, you know, I'd never like performed solo in front of, you know, hundreds of people. So
Yeah.
I was kind of thinking, looking at it as a bit of a stepping stone to my end, well, not my end goal, but, you know, the goal that I set back in 2018, to basically compete in freestyle. So yeah, it was a stepping stone, I think. Yeah,
it is. Freestyling in a competition setting is a massive thing to do when you've never, like you said, danced solo in front of hundreds of people before. So a choreography is an excellent stepping stone because everything is set. You have the music, you have the choreography, you can even choreograph like the faces, the ooh-ahs that you're going to give us while you're dancing. It's a great way. It's a great way to do it. And we had a few ups and downs last year with just that in itself, I think. But you really pushed for it, and it paid off in the end, and you did a great job in both the Australasian Samba Queen and the World Salsa Solo as well. And it was really beautiful to kind of watch you, even from the Australasian Samba Queen, it was in July, to the World Salsa Solo that was in December, I think.
Yeah.
You know, just the difference of confidence that came from your first ever solo to your second ever solo was huge.
Yeah. And I felt that too. I felt still terrified, but like just a lot more calm to go out on stage. So time rounds. So yeah, absolutely felt it.
Absolutely awesome. And then you decided to do it all again this year, and we challenged ourselves a little more this year with both a choreography and a freestyle, which was awesome. Pit stop at the choreography. I just want to do a shout out because you choreographed most of that yourself. I think all those combos with you, and then I just helped you kind of set them in a flowing sort of order. So that was awesome.
You were a pretty huge help. I'd never choreographed anything before, but yeah, you were a pretty huge help, I have to say.
Yeah, but you know, all you. So that was awesome. It almost didn't make it to the stage. It was one of those ones that was
like, it was like practice performance night, and I was like, I forgot, you know, again, I have to say thank you for arranging that. Gabby is literally the most amazing coach ever. She went for, you know, all of the girls that she had competing, she organized a special night where we basically performed in front of, you know, a small crowd of spectators, and like, I guess, we all just had an opportunity to sort of, you know, have a go before we went, you know, out on the, you know, the stage at ASQ. And after that I was like, oh my God, I made so many mistakes. I was sliding all over the floor. I forgot some moves. Like, wasn't loving my samba for some reason at that point. And I came to you the next week and was like, look, maybe we should just focus on the freestyle. But thank you for pushing me, because second place for that out of 18 women was like, holy guacamole, that's just
right. That was and I think that was a bit of a confidence booster for you as well when that happened on the Friday night. You know, I always like to bomb a rehearsal show. I don't know why. You didn't bomb it, but for myself, like if I don't do as well in the rehearsal as I would have liked, then I know it's going to be awesome on the stage. So I wasn't worried about that at all. I was like, no, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And I just said, just keep practicing. And like, even if you get to the day and you're like, no, don't want to do it, then pull out. But there's no, there's so much regret in pulling out 2 weeks before or less than, and then not, and then feeling like you could have done it. So that's sometimes why I push you guys. And, a lot of the other girls had those moments too, not 2 weeks before, but a little earlier than that. And they're like, I don't know if I can do this sort of thing. And I'll always encourage, I say, just keep training, because you never know what's going to happen next week. There's always like emotional highs and lows and things like that that happen while you're training. Like, it's not just as simple as training for a competition. Like, it really makes you, I don't know, go deep inside yourself, and all your demons start to come out. And it's like, it's a pretty stressful process.
100%.
It really is. It really is. So yeah, so you smashed your choreo, and then on the Saturday, you came out and gave us a beautiful freestyle. And what was that experience like?
It was, I think, so surreal. You're standing like in the wings, and you're waiting to go out, and you have adrenaline pumping, and you're trying to do everything just to kind of calm your nerves before you go out there. I think it just, yeah, I can't even explain it. It's just like, there's nothing I've ever experienced. But yeah, I just love dancing to the drums. So it's
yeah. And it's insane. Like, for anyone who doesn't know what we're talking about right now, the freestyle section of the competition is, you get dressed up in your costume, and you have to have all of these elements. You have to have a headdress. You have to have a back piece. You have to have platform shoes on. And then you walk out on stage. There's a group of drummers on there, and you've got no idea what they're going to play. You have sort of an idea from, if you're not first one on. So sorry to the first one on the stage. You have some kind of an idea, but they might change it up on you. So you're really just flying blind out there. All you know is that there's going to be a slow section of music. There's going to be a break where there's lots of bang, bang, bang kind of stuff that happens. And then there's going to be a fast section where you've got to just go for it. So it's really tricky to prepare for. Sometimes the music is longer than you expect. Sometimes it's shorter than you expect. Sometimes, the break is one that you have no idea. Like, did you know what the break was going to be? No.
No. And I
never
think,
heard that.
we were using like, I guess, videos from like prior years, and, to train, I guess, YouTube videos to sort of train from prior years. And yeah, that definitely wasn't the breaks that we'd been training to. So just moved through it as best I could, I guess. And yeah.
Exactly. And you crushed it. And like, the difference between being on stage and feeling what you're doing and watching is so different. Because what did you say when you came off the stage? You were like,
oh yeah,
nah, that was so shit.
I know. I feel like I felt that, when I had like gone out for the slow section, I didn't feel like, it was smooth enough. I felt like maybe I was a little bit unsure on my feet, and there was things that I wanted to, like some little footwork things that I'd kind of put together that I kind of wanted to do that I didn't quite get to, again because the music just stopped. But I think I kind of came off stage, and I was like, you were like so excited for me, and you were like, you did amazing. And I was like, oh, it's okay, I know.
Yeah. And the break, there was like a couple of things that happened in the break. I was like, bump, 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 bump. And you just went, pat, 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 pat. And it was just so perfect. And I was like, yes. And you're like, I screwed up the break. I was like, what?
I think I went third, and I heard, like, I did sort of hear, I guess, that the first lady that went out, I heard her break. And then when like I was standing in the wing, like for the lady that was on second, and I was like, okay, this is coming. And yeah, I just had a little, just do this, and then went out and had a go. So that's maybe why it came together.
Yeah. That's awesome. Awesome. So what Okay, let's ask these couple of questions. What was your favorite part of preparing for a freestyle competition?
Um, I think just like learning something new, pushing my comfort zone, um, and really feel like I was sort of to feel like that feeling of like I'm working towards this goal that I had set all the way back in 2018, and it's happening. That's absolutely it.
Yeah, I love that.
Training with
And
you
what
every
was the
week.
hardest? Sorry?
Training with you every week. Yeah.
What was the hardest part?
um, I think it takes a lot of commitment in terms of your time, your emotions, your money. Um, it's a big commitment, and I think I touched on earlier about just being up in my head and having self doubt, all of that kind of stuff. So I think probably probably those things.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think had a bit of a chat to all of the girls who were competing this year, sort of saying, um, I think this is part of the reason why I wanted to do this is to try and make clear some of the reasons why people compete, some of the heartache of that preparation, some of the heartache of what happens after the competition. There's a lot that's involved, and you really have to put aside a good 2 or 3 months of your life to do it because it's all you can think about. Like one of our
Oh,
beautiful ladies is pregnant, and she did that whole preparation at the start of her pregnancy. It was just crazy. And then did the performance on the Friday night, felt amazing about it, woke up on the Saturday and went, oh my God, I'm going to be a mum. Like she hasn't even had a chance to think about pregnancy yet because she's been training. So it is a massive, massive commitment. But
yeah,
what you get out of it is so incredible. You like I always say, worst case scenario, you become a better dancer from even if you kind of don't do your best on stage or you don't place or all of your scores are horrible or whatever. The worst case scenario is that you've come out of this experience as a better dancer.
100%. I think last year I after my solo choreography at ASQ, I went off stage and I actually went to the bathroom and cried. Like, and it sounds crazy, but like I think I wanted so badly for it to be perfect, but I went off stage and I was kind of like, I knew that there were timing issues. I knew that there was, a few little mistakes, and I just I was really sad about it. But then I took a moment to reflect. I think it was just, there was just so much happening. But once I had the moment to reflect, I was like, hang on a second, like that's like such an achievement to even get out there. And looking back at the video, you actually did a good job. Like,
Yeah.
wasn't as bad as what you've like built it up in your head to be. And like it's one step closer to where you want to be, and you've learned something. You've become a better dancer from it, and
Yeah. Definitely. It's always about the journey. Always, 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 because you might have 2 minutes on stage. You work 3 months or whatever to get to a 2 minute, 1.5 minute performance. And like, how many times in rehearsal did you absolutely nail your routine or your freestyle? Like, what percentage of it? You know what I mean? So what is the chances that you're going to go out on stage and actually nail it in a way that you're 100% happy with? Like there's always going to be something's going to happen with your costume, or you your timing's a little bit out here, or you didn't give an amazing samba there or whatever. And you just have to know that it's the journey and not necessarily the end point. Like if you get that 2 minutes and it's perfect, then like even better, amazing for you. And if you win something from it, even better, amazing for you. But it really is about that whole journey and becoming a better dancer. And I think, the the aftermath of a competition is really, really hard when you don't place. You know, let's go there from back last year when you competed for the first time because you didn't place. You didn't place in either of the competitions, which, you know, is expected for a first timer. That's definitely expected. Um, what was it like looking back at your scores, even from your win, from your scores and the come down of the competition?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Look, I think you know, like the immediate days that kind of like follow like a competition, like it's kind of like the only thing that you can think about. I think like last year after competition, I was like awake all night. Like I just, do you know what I mean? Like I was thinking about everything. Like it just everything was running through my head, playing. Like yeah, I just yeah, I didn't sleep. You know, that adrenaline was still pumping. You know, I think the week that follows, like you know, you sort of just crash a little bit,
Yeah,
and you know, you just feel exhausted because you've just been on
yeah,
this like emotional roller coaster. Um, yeah, I think yeah, it's just yeah, it's a lot.
yeah. It's like when you have a stressful time in your life and you keep pushing and you push and you push and you push because you know you just have to get through this. And it's very much like that. And then when you finish the competition and you allow yourself to relax, I
Yeah,
think that's what happened when you went to the toilet and cried, is that you don't have to hold on to that anymore. Like it's done, you've done it, and you can just relax and all that comes out, and you might even get sick afterwards and all of that because you've just been holding on for so long.
yeah,
And then it's just this huge release. Even for me, what day was it? Monday, we came back from the Sunshine Coast and I had a horrible day. I was so grumpy. I was all over the shop. My emotions were everywhere. And I didn't compete, I didn't do anything, but I just had, you know, so many girls training for it. And I think it was
yeah,
me too, you know, I was
yeah.
just like so emotionally involved in all of it that I just kind of went, ah. But there's a high there that you want to go back to again next time, right?
Absolutely, absolutely, it's so
Mm.
worth it. It's so
Especially when you win.
yeah. I mean, yeah, it does feel nice, but yeah, again, I think like I said earlier, just to even go out on that stage is already such an achievement. It's yeah.
Oh, 100%, 100%. And I had quite a few first timers this year too. And I've actually got a question here from Tash. It was her first time competing this year, and she did an awesome job. So, so, so proud of her. We worked hard. It was an emotional roller coaster for all of us. But she said, "What is your best piece of advice to anyone who feels like giving up?" She said she's not giving up, but there is times where you do, and you did have that time.
Yeah, I definitely did, and I think you need to go back. You need to remember why you why you started in the first place. You need to really draw on those things that you love about samba, and um, you know the positive aspects of it. You know how it makes you feel. Usually, not just in this like one little moment of wanting to give up and quit. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so I think those kinds of things. I think surrounding yourself with supportive people like coach, partner, friends, samba sisters, like that kind of stuff who lift your confidence and consistently
Believe in you.
yeah show that they have faith in you and I think that stuff all really helps. But I think you also need to kind of you know try and sort of love yourself as well and listen to your body and yeah I think just yeah if you
Yeah.
have
Oh,
a little
yeah.
break, if you need to have a little break, maybe like a little break is okay, but just really just try and remember like why you started and really keep at it and it feels good
Yeah.
to achieve in the end. Like it's way better than that feeling of that small little feeling
Yeah.
of doubt or want
Yeah. Exactly.
and when you do
Exactly.
like beat that feeling, that's amazing.
It is, it is. If anybody else has any questions, pop them in the comments section now while I add my 2 cents worth. The I always have a 2 cents worth. I like to talk. That's probably my downfall. Um, it the negative feelings, are getting caught up in the negative spiraling sort of feelings is it a survival technique. So we're very much as a species, as humans, we are wired in that way to think of the negative, like in order to survive, what are all of the bad things that could happen? What are all of the things that could eat me? What are all of the things that, could kill me, sort of thing. So I think if we keep that as a knowing in our minds, that's always something that's going to happen. There's always going to be those moments where you have the spiraling negative thoughts. I have them myself. I'm like, sometimes, let's go to the scoring of competitions. My God, it's horrible. For myself, I hate scoring people out of 10. Like, it's just, their whole journey does not boil down to a 7 out of 10. Like, that's horrible. But we're really just giving a number of what we're seeing on the stage, like not for your whole journey. But for me, sometimes I see those scores and I think to myself, my God, what am I doing as a coach? I'm letting these people down. They're not getting the scores that I think they should be getting, that kind of thing. So it happens to all of us. It does. And I think, like Emma said, you need to have those positives. And even if you were to make a list of those positives and have them there for yourself to just keep checking in on. I think that's probably why having a coach is so valuable, is because they've probably been on that journey themselves. I have a couple of times as an adult. I did competitions a lot as a child, but as an adult, I've only brought myself to do it a couple of times because it is so damn hard. And a coach can keep you on the right track, can keep the positive, energy coming, can keep those positive thoughts coming, and really help you see yourself in a way that is probably more accurate than what you're seeing yourself, what light you're seeing yourself in, because we are our own worst critics. If we use that to sort of help ourselves, it's a good thing. Constructive criticism, constructive feedback. But when it gets into those spiraling negative kind of I'm shit kind of downward trajectory, that's when it all, falls apart. And that's tough. It's tough. Yeah. What did you think when you saw your scores?
Yeah, look, I was I was actually really happy with I guess like my samba, like the scores that I guess you get marked on, a few different sort of categories, I guess. So you've got, I think it was like difficulty and floor craft and, presentation,
Timing.
samba, and I was actually just really really proud of, how high my marks were for my samba, because that's what I've been working so hard at. So yeah, I think there was definitely, and I'm looking at it, there was maybe for a few sort of sections there was a couple of 7s, and I sort of thought, well, that's okay, that's an opportunity. So yeah, absolutely.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. It's tough.
Yeah. Yeah, I looked at those as an opportunity, I think. So yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And I was so curious to, like, what I said before when I was like on my downward spiral of I'm such a shit coach. I went back and I looked I went back and I looked at the scores that I received from my competition in 2018, and I had some 7s in there too. And it really is so subjective. So that is definitely one thing I wanted to touch on
Yeah.
in this chat is how subjective competition is
Yeah.
and how frustrating it is. How frustrating it is to have somebody boil you down to one number. And, you know, like this judge over here might think that that person should win because of X, Y, and Z. And that judge over there thinks that that person should win because of other reasons. So I think, again, going back to that journey, is that when you do decide to do a competition, it's about knowing that it's more about the journey than the
Yeah.
scores and the, you know, the placings, because it could, sometimes there's not a clear winner. Sometimes there, when you have 18 girls in a category, you know, sometimes it could go any way. And I do remember thinking that about a couple of the categories on the weekend. You know, sometimes there is a clear winner, and sometimes it's like, well, you know, there was a few good ones. I don't know who's going to win. And that's when you get those moments where, you know, somebody wins and someone's like, yeah, woo. And the other person over there is like, what?
Yeah.
You know, and it's horrible. Like, I don't think that striving for a placing is probably, you know, the best thing to do with a competition, which is not, I don't think, what your end goal was.
No, like it was literally
Especially
just,
like a first time.
no, no. I think, you know, the first time, like I said, it was like a stepping stone. And I think this time, I wanted to feel like I had improved on last time and that I had, yeah, I think that was kind of like, yeah, I think last time, like I said, it was, yeah, stepping stone. It was first time going out on that stage alone, and that's what it was. And I think this time I kind of wanted to go look back on, and I was very proud of what I achieved there. Don't get me wrong, but I think this time I sort of wanted to just really feel like I had, yeah, I guess given it everything, and that, you know, like I was really happy with how everything looked, felt, you know, like, yeah, I don't know. I just wanted it to be better this time around. I just wanted to show that I come, you know, made some
progress. How far? Yeah, how much you've improved, and you'll be able to see that in the videos as well when you do get the videos back. Like, you look at what you gave last year and what you gave this year, and you'll see such a huge difference. And that's sort of what I mean when I say, like, worst case scenario, you're a better dancer at the end of the journey. But yeah, I think that we've, you know, spoken about a lot of good things today. Is there anything that you were hoping to talk about that you didn't get a chance to, or anything that you'd like to add for anyone who's listening to this, maybe thinking about competing or has competed in the past but had a bad experience or something like that?
I think, you know, if you're thinking about competing, I think just take that leap and do it. I think, just commit and do it. I think, you know, grab yourself a Gabby and, you know, get some support to sort of coach you through the journey and the process, and just enjoy the ride. And I think we touched on this earlier, but just remember that, you know, everyone's on a different journey, and you shouldn't compare, you know, your progress to others, and you shouldn't be, you know, getting caught up in what other competitors are doing and letting that get into your head. I think, you know, you can only control your performance on the night. I think, you know, if you have had a bad experience, don't look at it like a bad experience. Look at it like an opportunity to, you know, come back and you know, have a, you know, give it another shot and you know, crush it. So yeah.
Awesome. Yay, thank you so much for joining me today.
I will say as well, maybe just thank you so much, Gabby, for, you know, everything you've taught me, everything you continue to teach me. I love dancing with you. I'll always dance with you, and I think as well, just thank you to, you know, everyone that supported me along the way. You know, like I said earlier, Samba Sisters, Jade, Shania, Rhea, you know, always cheering me on in the background. I've got, you know, the Samba Life crew that were, you know, that came to competition this year. You know, like Tash, Laura, and oh gosh, who have I forgotten? There was
Sarah.
Anastasia and Sarah. You know, everyone was like, we were really just supporting each other, lifting each other up. And even, you know, Ellen, part of the Samba Life crew, she came along. She said, thank God she didn't compete this year. And she was,
Yeah,
you know,
because she won last year. She won 3 times last year. Shout out to Ellen, who was incredible last year. Oh my God.
But, you know, this year she just showed up and she was in the crowd. She was supporting, she was taking photos, she was cheering, you know, happy to run around if there was anything that any of us needed. Like, she was just an absolute legend.
Yeah.
You know, people like some of the pros that have like just been so, you know, like Danielle, she, you know, just always such, you know, wise wisdom, like in the weeks leading up to it. Emma, you know everything already, you know. Just everyone that's sort of been, you know, on this journey. Obviously, Michelle and Sasha as well for, you know, giving us this opportunity to compete at this level. I think just, obrigada, everyone.
Yeah, definitely. We are so appreciative of those people who, oh my God, they work so hard to put on an event like that, and it is very much appreciated, because if we didn't have events like that, you know, we wouldn't have the opportunity to grow as dancers. And I think that the Australasian Samba Queen competition is so unique, because it is just samba. There's plenty of other Latin dance competitions out there, but sometimes you're being judged by people who know nothing about samba, and that's okay. They're judging you on your timing and your general dance technique and your presentation. But when it comes to samba technique, it's nice to be judged by people who know what they're watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. No, thank you.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the chat this lovely morning, and we look forward to seeing what you're heading to next.
Yeah. Hopefully some bigger, better things.
Yeah, awesome. Amazing. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll be back again. I'm going to have some more interviews with some of my other competitors as well, because everybody's had a different journey, everybody's had different experiences, so I'd like to showcase some of those as well, and I'll let you know when they are coming. Yay.
Yeah.
All right, have a great weekend.
Thank you, you too. Bye.
See you soon. Bye. Oh no, now I don't know how to get out of this live.